Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, my name is Jill, and today is our second and final full day in New York City. We have a lot of exciting things that we're doing today. I think this was both of our, most anticipated day, which is very exciting. It's currently 9 a.m. and we're going to go for breakfast soon at Liberty Bagels, the location that is in Grand Central Station. Then we have a few little things that we want to do, like hop back over to Central Park to get the merch, and I want to go into one of those souvenir shops because there was a shirt I was looking at, and go back to the Disney store real quick. And then the main portion of our day, we're going to the Harry Potter store, we're going to the Strand bookstore. There's a couple other little stores that I saw on Instagram and stuff. So one is called Fish's Eddy and the other is Muir and Grand. So we're going to go to those, which are in the same kind of area. Tonight, we are going to see Harry Potter and the Cursed Child with Tom Felton as Draco. That's the whole purpose of this trip, the whole reason we booked it. We're so excited. My mom has never read The Cursed Child. I did when it came out. I don't remember anything about it really. So we're very excited. I know that there's magic in the show, so that'll be very exciting. It's also a very interactive lobby, with lots to do and photo ops, and there's a really big merch store. Plus, we have, I think it's called the Diamond Lounge package. So we have lounge access and a separate bathroom and these little treats, we get butter beer and champagne and cookies. So it's going to be a whole experience. We're very excited for that. So it's also, I think, a little bit warmer outside today. It's not warm, but it's warmer than it was. So hopefully, we're not too chilly walking around because we've done a lot of walking and it's been a little bit windy. But yeah, that's kind of the plan for today. We'll see what else we get up to. But for right now, we are going to go get some breakfast at Liberty Bagels. We got our bagel. We got the dill and herb just on a plain bagel. Here it is. That's so good. Yeah, really, really, really good. The bagel is so fresh.
It's not toasted,
but it's crunchy on the outside. Yeah, so good. We're back in the hotel just for a second. So we went to Liberty Bagels, which was really, really good. We both said we haven't really eaten that much since we've been here, but that and the frozen hot chocolate, for me, those are my two favorite things. That's literally all. Other than that, we ate at Pret. So, the two meals I've had, great. But it was really, really good. We were lucky enough to get a seat. They were so fast, very nice, so many options. I would highly recommend going there, really good. I would eat there if I were here every single morning, honestly, so good. And then we went to Central Park to buy the things that we didn't buy the other day, just very quick, pop in and pop out. Then we went back to the Disney store, and listen, if you watch any of my Disney vlogs, I always say you have to go in every store every time because you never know when new things are going to be there. And that's exactly what happened this time. So did some damage at the Disney store again. It's my weakness, but I'm very excited about everything I got. Again, I will do a haul after we are home, so that's going to be very exciting. Mom has some issues with her name on her flight booking. If you've watched the travel day video, we kind of talked about that, but for our flight home with Air Canada, we were told to wait at least 3 business days before. I called the other day. It was going to be a very long wait. We were tired. He was like, you can just call Air Canada yourself and they'll be able to do it instead of going through Avion and stuff. So I called them. We've had to send an email to get a correction. So we're crossing all of our fingers and toes that works. But I had called this morning. It was going to be an hour wait. And we were like, it's a long time to just sit in the room and wait. So they had this thing where they would call you back when it was your turn. So we just went to do our stuff. It had been 2 hours and they still hadn't called. So when we got back to the room, I was like, okay, I'll just call. We'll just wait. But as I was calling, they called me back. So that was perfect timing. And like I said, now we're just like crossing everything that it works and there's no issues. And now it's about 11, I think, and we're going to make our way. I think our first stop is going to be Muir and Grand. That's the first thing we'll come to. It's about a 20-minute walk, I think. We have found that when Google Maps says like any length of time for a walk, we're about half that. Like we walk pretty fast. So should be probably like 10 to 15-minute walk for us. And then we'll go to the Harry Potter store and we'll go to the Strand. And I think there's a Trader Joe's that we might pop into because I would love to get one of the tote bags if they have any. I know they're probably not going to have any, but we would like to just look around too. We've never been in a Trader Joe's. I know that sounds silly because it's like a grocery store, but I always see videos of people like getting yummy treats. So just want to peek around. And then we might get a lift back here depending on how tired our legs are. Or we'll just power through and, there might be things along the way that we want to go into as well. So that's the plan for the rest of the day. So we finished at Muir and Grand. It's a small store, so it didn't take us very long to look around in there, but they had lots of cute things. If I hadn't already gotten a sweatshirt from Abercrombie that was like New York, then I probably would have gotten one there, but I did get a little something. Then we went to Trader Joe's quickly. I didn't think they would have any of the totes. They did not, but they had lots of yummy goodies that made me hungry, but didn't get anything there. And now we're almost to the Harry Potter store, which is very exciting, something we've been waiting for. I can guarantee that things will be bought here. They also have a little cafe, so they have like obviously butterbeer and some snacks and things like that. So I don't even know what to expect really, because I don't know if it's going to be very similar to Universal. We've seen some different things in vlogs and stuff, but that's where we're heading to now. Oh, this is the Flatiron right in front of us. The Flatiron building is under scaffolding, unfortunately. Shopping in the Harry Potter store. It was very overwhelming. There's like so much to look at and everything is really nice, very different things than we've seen before. But now we're going into the cafe to see if there's anything we want there. I got the frozen butterbeer. I didn't know it was going to come in the little, got the little cup. That tastes just like Universal.
Does it?
Not as sweet actually. It's not as sweet, you would probably like it. room. We have been for about an hour and a half. I think the last time I picked up the camera was when we were leaving the Harry Potter store, and I was saying it was very overwhelming in there in like a good way, in a way where you're like, I want to look over here and I want this and I want to go over there. And so it was very fun. I really liked going to the Harry Potter store. I think that was probably one of the highlights of today for sure, and probably the whole trip. I just really, really enjoyed that. And then we went to Fish's Eddy and we loved it there, but it's a lot of breakables, like it's dishes. So I wish we had the ability to buy things there when we were at home, because I loved so many of the different collections that they had. It was really unique and kind of like able to mix and match things, and I thought it was really nice. So glad we went there to look at least. And then we walked over to the Strand, and I mean, we were saying this to each other when we were in there, like it's a bookstore, right? So we weren't looking for any books in particular, but if you had a specific book that you were looking for, especially something that's a little like more rare or very specific, like obviously with 18 miles of books, you're going to be able to find it there. And I could spend hours in a bookstore, so of course I could spend a lot of time there, but it was also the end of the day, so the main thing we wanted was to get a tote bag, which we did. So that was a successful trip there. We were then, I think it said it was going to be a 45-minute walk for us. We had already walked that 45 minutes, but stopping at places, especially the Harry Potter store, for like long periods of time. But again, you're walking to the store and then you are walking around the store shopping and then walking to the next store. So you're walking the whole time. So we were like, don't really feel like walking 45 minutes back to the hotel. And it was about 2:45 at that point. So we were like, we're just going to get a lift. It took us like 30 minutes, maybe 25. Like it was so quick, and I think it was like $40, and we split that between the two of us, and it was just really nice to be dropped right in front of our hotel and to like not have to do that extra walking. So from there, I was a little bit hungry. You may have noticed we've barely eaten. So we had our bagel for breakfast, and then I had frozen butterbeer, and Mom had a butterbeer chunk cookie, half of one, when we were at the Harry Potter shop. But then we decided to go to Central Perk. I got a caprese sandwich, and Mom got another bagel. 2 bagels today. We just ate that there. It was really nice, comfy seats, and just, something easy right next to our hotel. So now we've just been organizing to pack after the show tonight and relaxing for a little bit. So it is now a little after 5. And the show starts at 7. I think I said this earlier, but the doors open for everybody at 6 so that everyone can experience like the lobby and go shopping and, kind of take their time before going in. We do have priority access, so we have a different line that we get into, but I don't think they open the doors any earlier for us. It's just that it's less people waiting in our line. Not sure about that. I really couldn't find any information. I just know we paid for it. Yeah, so we're going to go over there, like arrive around 5:45. Because I think the doors open at 6 for us, and then we'll, do some shopping and then find our seats. And I will try to remember tonight to update you on what we think of the show. But if I don't, then I'll do it in the morning like I did today. So that's the plan. We are very excited to see Tom Felton as Draco tonight. The whole point of coming here. So it's very exciting. And as you can tell, I'm in my Slytherin colors. And Mom, you want to show... Mom got this new sweatshirt at the Harry Potter store. It says Hufflepuff. It has little flowers on the sleeves, and it's very like subtle. Patience, loyalty, and dedication. Oh, it just describes you, doesn't it? We saw that sweatshirt online before we came, and it's so nice. I'm jealous because obviously Hufflepuff colors are like yellow, so that's why it's like that nice cream color. They had a Slytherin one, but it was just a green sweatshirt. It wasn't like muted like that. Like I really like how like subtle it is, and it really wasn't like that. So I am just in my Slytherin colors. So time for the cursed child. Hello. We are very clearly not in New York anymore, but I wanted to give you an update on 1, what we thought of Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, and 2, the craziness that ensued with our travel home day. So first of all, let's rewind back to Cursed Child. So we got to the theater around 5:45, I want to say, and like I have said many times before, they were opening the door at 6 for everybody. Show started at 7. We had the Diamond Lounge access, which gave us access to like a private lounge with private coat check and bathrooms. We got a black and white cookie, we got a welcome drink and an intermission drink, and they would get snacks for us if we wanted snacks at the intermission. I think that's what was included in that, plus really good seats that like you had to get the seats in order to get the package. So that's what the Diamond Lounge access was. But we also paid, I think, $11 each to get priority access. So that meant when we got there at 5:45, we were like the theater door was here and there was a line of people down the building, like so many people. And we had a little barricaded section into the road, basically, like as if a car were parked there and there were like cursed child like sanctions up. And is that the word? I think so. Anyway, and we were like in there with probably 8 or 9 other people at the time. And so we were just like facing the doors with, and those were all people with priority access, just waiting in this little corralled area. While we were there, a lot of the actors were kind of like going right into the theater, like getting ready for the show. And Tom Felton did walk right by us. He had a skateboard. I like saw him out of the corner of my eye, but you're like not expecting to see him, but he was there. So that was very exciting. And so basically around just before 6 o'clock, they let us, and they had checked our tickets beforehand for the priority access, but they let us into the theater, kind of up these steps, and then they were like, there were closed doors there that we waited by. So then at 6, they opened the doors, they scanned our tickets, and then we were kind of into the theater. And like I said, there were kind of like interactive areas, and there were photo ops, and there was the merch and the concession stands and all of these things. So we were able to go at that point wherever we wanted, and the priority access was let in just a little bit before the regular line, which, like I said, was very long. So we got in there and we knew that we had the lounge access, which not everyone with priority would have. So we didn't have to really worry about going to the concession stands because we had that downstairs for us. So our first stop was to go to the merch. So we went like all the way back, the other side of the building was the merch. We had already had like a game plan. Like I knew the merch that I wanted to buy. I did panic a little bit when I got in there because there was so much, and I was like, I'm really kicking myself because I didn't get the Slytherin scarf, and I've wanted one for so long, but I might try to knit myself one. So stay tuned for that. Maybe I'll do it, maybe I won't. But we kind of were like just in and out. We grabbed our merch, we knew what we wanted, and we were the first people to pay. Then we were done, and so then we took our merch and we went downstairs to the lounge. And obviously we had to show like actually I don't think we had to show our ticket again. I'm sure we did, but I don't remember that. So we got in there, they showed us like the private coat check that we could just basically hang our coats in, and then we had a cute little table that had our name on it. The lounge was so cool. It was like exactly what I would want in like a little like speakeasy area in my own house. Like I really liked the wallpaper and the decorations. It was very Slytherin, very green. And so on our table when we arrived, they asked us if we wanted champagne or frozen butterbeer, because we got one complimentary drink at the beginning, and then we put in an order for one for the intermission. So we both got a glass of champagne, which was really nice. And like I said, we got the black and white cookies, which we ate not that day, but they were delicious, so good. And then there was like a little bowl of chips, which my mom ate because I cannot. And we were also able to order any concessions right there, and they would like add it to a tab and they would get it for us. So we just kind of relaxed. My mom did end up having to go back up to the merch place because there was, they gave us the sizes of the sweatshirts that we bought, and we didn't check them, obviously, but then I tried one on when I was in the lounge, and I was like, this is humongous, and it was an extra large, so it was not the correct size. So I went up, and then my mom went up, and they're really good about like not making us wait in line to exchange them kind of thing for the right size. So that was really nice. But going up there, it was crazy busy. So we were so glad that we had the lounge access. It was just very relaxing, very nice. So yeah, we kind of spent about 45 minutes in there just relaxing and like getting excited for the show. And it was so nice to be like with a bunch of people that were also very excited. And yeah, again, I can't say how much we loved the lounge access, especially the private bathrooms. Like, it's just so nice. So then at about 6:45, we went to our seats. So we were in the dress circle. So we were able to take an elevator up there. So we didn't even have to go on the stairs. So luxurious. So we took that elevator and we, showed the guy our ticket so that he could tell us how to get to our seat. And when he was looking at it, he was like, these are really good seats. And we were like, ooh, we're so excited. So we were basically like the dress circle, like overhang. We were the front row. So it was like really, really great seats. And because we were the front, we had like a lot of extra leg room, which was really nice. Then it was time for the show. And it was so good. It was just the choreography of some of the scenes was like so intricate and well done. And the magic was so good. Like there were things happening that I was like, I truly don't know how they're doing that. And it was just very impressive. Like I think I've said this before, but my mom had never read The Cursed Child. I did when it came out. I did not remember what the story was at all. Also, I have a few issues with like the story of the play of The Cursed Child, but it was so well done, like with the acting, and it was just really enjoyable to like sit and watch this story unfold. So we had a great time. Obviously, it was so amazing to see Tom as Draco. Like it was just like when he first comes out, and obviously everybody is like cheering and like so excited. Like it is just such a cool moment. That was really, really cool. And then for me, I have the cast here. My two standouts, number one was Aiden Close, who plays Scorpius. He was so good. Like I just loved his portrayal of that character. So well done. And then I really enjoyed Emmett Smith as Elvis as well. So they were my two standouts, but everyone was so good. Oh, also Ron was really good. Who played Ron? Daniel Frederick. He was really good too. I say that, those are my standouts, but everyone was incredible. So yeah, we had a really great time at intermission. Like I said, we were able to, before we left, we could write down, we had a choice between a frozen butterbeer again, or the signature cocktail. I think it was like the spiked snitch or something. And we could also order any intermission snacks that we wanted. So I ordered some pretzels to be there for us, and then I got the frozen butterbeer and Mom got the spiked snitch. Both drinks were really good. Hers was a little more sweet. It was like a caramel apple cider with rum. No, whiskey. Whiskey with a caramel apple cider, and I think there was something else in it, but it was like a frozen drink. And then the frozen butterbeer was so good. It basically tasted like the one from Universal and the Harry Potter store, but very sweet, like butterscotchy kind of flavor. And because of that, you get like the little souvenir cups. So that was exciting. And then the pretzels. So we had about 15 minutes for the intermission. We were able to use the bathroom very quickly, which was nice. And we were also able to store any like bags or whatever in the lounge when we went to the first act. So we didn't have like all of our stuff with us, but we did take it for the second act just because then we could easily leave the theater after. So that was super nice to have that area during the intermission as well. Oh, also, I'm not going to give any spoilers, but when the guy said that we had good seats, like the end of Act 1, something happens, and being in that seat, it was so cool. They really were perfect seats. So that was very, very special, that whole moment. So that was very fun. And then Act 2 was great. I really enjoyed it. That was The Cursed Child. We loved it. It's very different from Hamilton, obviously, so I feel like we had two very different experiences and we loved both of them. So happy that we did that, and so happy that we had the lounge access to experience that as well. There's only a handful of theaters that I know of that have different lounge access options, but if you ever have the chance to see a show that has the lounge access, I highly recommend it. From there, we went back to the hotel. We packed up. It was probably 11:30 by the time we went to bed, maybe more like midnight. And our car was picking us up at 9 a.m. the next day. So we wanted to get everything packed and just be ready to go. So the next morning was Friday, and we were, like I said, private car transfer was picking us up at 9. We were like ready to go by like 7:30. We get ready very quickly, so we were just kind of waiting, and I think it was at 8:30. I got a notification that he was about 10 minutes away, so he would have waited for us until 9, but we just went down to the lobby and waited for him and said we were ready to go. So he picked us up around 8:30. When we were in the car, I think it was, we got a notification that our flight, which was supposed to be at, I want to say 1:30 p.m., and we were flying out of Newark, it was delayed by like 15 minutes, so 1:45 or something like that. We were like, okay, that's fine. When we arrived, and just after we had checked our bags, we got a notification that it was delayed until like 2:15. So that was fine. We went ahead. Oh, I should say the drive from the hotel to the Newark airport was about 50 minutes, so not bad. So when we got to the airport, it had been delayed by about 45 minutes. Not a big issue. And so we went and we dropped our bags off, and then we went through security. Security took no time at all. And then we got through. We went to Starbucks, we got a breakfast sandwich and some coffee and tea, and we were just sitting in some comfy chairs at Starbucks. We were kind of excited because the terminal actually had like some stores and was more exciting than Halifax. So we were like, okay, this is fine. Like we had probably like 4 hours that we would have to wait, but we were like, at least we're here, no big deal. Just as we were finishing our coffee, basically, we got a notification that our flight had been canceled, and it was due to mechanical issues, I think, something like that. So we were like, okay, it was 11 a.m. Our flight for 2 p.m. was canceled, and we were like, don't freak out. So the next thing it said was that they would try to rebook us and let us know our new flight within half an hour. So I was like, I'm not going to do anything. I'll just wait for the half an hour. So about 20 minutes later, we did both get emails about our flights being rebooked. We had booked on separate bookings because we used our Avion Rewards points. So we had different booking confirmation numbers, so they did not know that we were together, basically. We ended up being booked. Keep in mind, this is Friday. We got booked for Sunday, and my mom's flight was at 11:30 to Boston on Sunday, and then a connector to Halifax that we get in at 9:30 p.m. And mine was almost the same, but not. And mine was like a 1:45 p.m. to Boston, and then connecting to Halifax on the same flight that she would have been on. And mind you, our flight home was supposed to be direct. So we were like, ugh, okay. The biggest thing that we didn't want was to be on separate flights. We also didn't want it to be Sunday. We were like, there's got to be something sooner than that. So I was like looking, and there were sooner flights that we could do. They all connected in Boston, but the app wasn't letting me select them. Like it would say like $0 for a change, and it wouldn't let me select it. So I was like, let's just go to the gate and see if there's an Air Canada agent that can like help us with this. We went over there. There was a couple other families that also like were trying to get hotel vouchers because they didn't get hotel vouchers, but they were fine with their flights. But finally it was our turn, and I was like, you know, is there anything sooner that we could get on and potentially together, because like we didn't want to be separated. They worked on that for probably like 20-30 minutes. They were like tapping away on their keys, and they ended up getting us a Saturday flight again to Boston. So it was like, I think it was like an 11:30 flight to Boston, and then we would have 5.5 hours in Boston, and then a night flight to Halifax landing at 9:30 at night. And we were like, that's fine, as long as we're on the same 2 flights, no issues. So that was great. He did that, and then we were like going to get our bags, obviously, because we had checked them already. So we were going there, and my mom got a confirmation of her flight change and her new e-ticket number, which was an issue on our way there, that she did not have an e-ticket number reassigned after her name change. That was fine, but then I realized I didn't get an email. The gate agents had left because their shift was over and they didn't have any more Air Canada flights that day, I don't think. So we were like, let's just go. They said we would get a hotel voucher. So like, let's just go and figure it out. We did not end up getting the hotel voucher. So we had to go to the gate agent that was at like the bag check-in area. So I went to her and I said, they just told us we were going to get this. We have not gotten it yet. It's been about half an hour. So she was able to like send that through. So we picked our hotel. Thankfully, we got that and we didn't have to pay. So we went to the hotel, we checked in. We had to wait about half an hour in the lobby to check in. Finally, we got into our room and I was like, I am going to call Air Canada because I know we're going to have issues tomorrow because I don't have a new ticket number. I don't know if your ticket number is the correct one. And I think it might have stemmed from the fact that when they rebooked us on the Sunday flight, I didn't confirm that because I was afraid if I confirmed it, that would be the one change that we didn't have to pay for and we would have to pay to switch our flight. So I was like, I'm not confirming that. I'm just going to get an agent to book us on a different one, which he did. But then our confirmation number was showing a Saturday flight and a Sunday flight, which meant I couldn't check into the flight because it was like, this doesn't make any sense. Why do you have both of these flights? So it wouldn't let me check in. And like I said, I didn't have that e-ticket number, which I knew was going to be an issue and is why we had to run to our flight in Toronto on the way there. So I was like, let me just call them and figure all of this out with someone that knows what they're doing better than I do. I think we got into the room around 3, which was check-in. So at like 3:30-ish, I called them and it said it would be a 2-hour wait. And I was like, what else do I have to do? Okay, let me do this. So I was on the phone. I was doing a bunch of research and looking into things and making sure that I wasn't like doing something silly. So finally, I had been on the phone on hold for 3 hours at this point, and I got the bright idea. I was like, maybe I have to call Avion Rewards. So let me just call them quickly. Because, I forgot. I did call. Our flight was operated by United. So I had called them first, and they said Air Canada had to do it. It was like a 5-minute wait to talk to United, of course, and they couldn't help me, which is totally fine. I wasn't sure which to call because we had Avion, Air Canada, United all like giving us confirmation numbers, so I wasn't sure. So I was like, that's perfectly fine. She put me through to Air Canada. And so once I had been with Air Canada on hold for 3 hours, I was like, let me call Avion. They were a little bit rude, but also nice. It was a very confusing phone call, but she basically said it's Air Canada that has to like reassign this ticket number and get rid of that other flight. So I said, no problem. I just wanted to double check so that I didn't waste any more time on hold. Finally, it was coming up on 4 hours on hold. We made a plan that if I was on hold for 4.5 hours, I would stay on hold, but we would go back over to the airport. And it's a whole thing because you go from the airport, you take a shuttle bus over to the air train, you take the air train, which is like a little monorail, over to the shuttle for the hotel, and then the shuttle from the hotel takes you, and they only run every half hour. So I was like, we'll do all of that in reverse and go back over to talk to an Air Canada person in person and see if they can help us while remaining on hold. So after about 4 hours and 15 minutes on hold, I was just about to go get freshened up to head back over to the airport. Someone picked up and I was like shaking. I was so excited that someone picked up. And basically, she was so helpful. She was able to take that Sunday flight away. She made sure we were on the Saturday flight. She gave me the new e-ticket numbers, sent me the emails, was like, make sure you got them. I got them. They matched. It was all good. She also let me check into the flights while I was on the phone with her to make sure that there weren't any issues there with mom's name or anything. Felt very confident after that phone call that everything was done. So that was fantastic. So thankfully, we didn't have to go back to the airport. At this point, I think it was about 8 p.m. So I literally got ready for bed and went to sleep because we had planned to go to the airport very early the next morning just in case. We were like, let's just be there. Because like I said, the whole like 5 different modes of transportation to get there, we didn't know how long it would take. So we went to bed and we woke up. And like I said, we get ready very quickly. So I think it was like 7:30. No, it must have been like 7:15. We went down to the lobby because the shuttle runs on the hour and half hour. So then we got on the 7:30 shuttle and doing that to the air train to the bus, to the terminal. That did end up taking about an hour and a half. And then we checked our bags and then it was a longer wait for security. It was first thing in the morning. So we went through security. We were finally back where we had been just the day before, and we had separate seats. We were not staying together, and it wouldn't let me pay on the United app because they didn't have a US address with my visa. So we went up to the agent at our gate, and she very kindly put us together. We were in an exit row, and she didn't make us pay. So it was really, really nice. So we got on that flight, no issues. It was like 30-minute flight to Boston, very smooth. And then we got to Boston, and like I said, we had about a 5.5 hour wait. Not a problem. Didn't bother us. We just wanted to be like one step closer to home. Basically, we just killed some time in the airport. We were due to take off at, I want to say like 6:30, 6:45, something like that. Got onto our flight to Halifax, no issues. Landed around 9:30, and then we had to drive home. It's about an hour, hour and a half to drive home. So we walked in our door at 11 p.m. So it was about a 30-hour delay. But we finally made it home, and we were so happy to be home. The biggest like snafu that came with all of that was that we had to figure out what to do with the animals because they were all being looked after. Like, they were boarded and there was people looking after them. So we had to like figure that out while we were also figuring out all of these issues with our flights and e-ticket numbers and all of that. But everything worked out. And now we're home. So there is the long explanation of what happened with our travel home day. Overall, we had such a great trip. Like, the trip itself, minus the travel there and the travel home, was great. Yes, it was chilly, but we had such a great time, specifically going to Hamilton and Cursed Child, which is the whole reason we went. And we would absolutely go back again to see more shows. It was just so much fun. We did a lot of shopping, so my next video will be the New York haul, so stay tuned for that. But thank you so much for watching this very short New York trip series, and make sure you're subscribed to see the haul and my upcoming videos. There's more fun coming, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.